Yeah.
Dave Franco, Joe Franco, Mark Franco's father has been there for 4 weeks already.
Yeah, no, longer.
Morning, Rabbi Prague.
Good morning.
No.
The air conditioning is outside.
Yeah.
Let's open the Chumash Parashat Bo.
Rabbi Prague,
Morning when I was driving was 47 degrees. Yes.
44.
could you go over for a minute that the Orach Chaim 21 again, and just explain it in a synopsis about you, the Talib? We could do
The garment, when you stop using it as a name of Tashmishei Mitzvah, and therefore there's no Kedusha left in it. So for the same reason that we can take the lulav after Sukkot and theoretically put it in the garbage, so is the garment of the tzitzit. Because remember, it was used for a mitzvah. Maybe another time we can dedicate the shiur.
okay, we'll talk about it later.
Look a second in Parashat Emor. It's page 688 and Perek Chav Gimel. Pasuk Lamed. Perek Chav Gimel, Pasuk Lamed.
688.
Lonnie? Okay, speak it short. Good morning, Joseph.
Let's read the Pesukim. It's page 688. Ach v'chamisha yom lachodesh hashvi'i, on the 15th of Tishrei, ve'ospechem et kutvuat haaretz, when you completed together all the different types of grains, tachogu et Chag Hashem shivat yamim. Bayom harishon Shabbaton, the first day of the holiday is the Yom Tov, ubayom hashmini Shabbaton shmini atzeret. Now, ulekachtem lachem. Lekachtem. What is the word lekachtem?
To take.
To take. What does it mean to take?
To take for yourself.
No, I understand. What does it mean to take? If a person, let's say if his hands are in a cast and you stick it into his hands, he cannot move.
He's not holding
You
it.
wrap it, maybe wrap it on his hand.
Yeah, he's not holding it.
Oh, so he has
Did he
to activate-
take it or is holding it? This is good to the word. Ulekachtem. What happened if I took it early in the morning when it's dark and it's still in my hand when it gets light? Of course, we have to discuss.
So night of the day.
Also, what if I took one at a time instead of all together? We can take them, doesn't mean together. I mean, we know what it is, it's together.
No, we'll talk about this too.
Yeah.
Lachem, as the rabbi mentioned today, it has to be yours. When does it have to be yours? By Yom HaRishon. On the first day, and the rest of the holiday, it doesn't have to be yours. Peri Etz Hadar, interestingly enough, the Torah is listing first the etrog. If you can go back in your mind for the last 50 years, when you pick up the 4 species, which one do you pick first? The lulav. It says in this book, Pri Etz Hadar. Many say, if they are both in front of you, pick the etrog first, then the lulav. Pri Etz Hadar, whatever you do is fine, but the Magen Avraham says this way, okay? Pri Etz Hadar, which is a description of the etrog. You know, the Gemara has many explanations why the etrog is being described as Eitz Hadar. See what the English translation of the word Hadar is? They say a fruit of a citrus, of a citron tree.
For that, I want to use a lemon, Rabbi.
But the Hadar is, of course, described, it has to be a beautiful etrog. Kapot Tmarim, we read kapot. It's written without a vav, you realize?
Yeah.
This is how we know that it's only one lulav. Kapat tmarim, one lulav. The lulav comes from the palm tree. Va'anav is avot. Those are the hadassim. Ve'arvei nachal and aravot. So you realize on etrog it says clearly one. On lulav, the fact that the vav is not there shows me it's a single lulav. By hadassim, it doesn't say openly to take three, but anav etzavot is three, ve'arvei is plural. The aravot are two. We'll elaborate on everything we say. Now, וסמכתם לפני השם אלוקיכם שבעת ימים. Please read the English translation a minute for you. Let's summarize it. Listen to the pasuk in English. Yeah?
You shall take for yourselves on the first day the fruit of a citron tree, the branches of date palms, twigs of a bladed tree, and brook willows, and you shall rejoice before Hashem your God for 7 days.
Now, what is the second half? I mean, the pasuk tells us in the beginning you have to take it only on the first day, which is Min Torah 7 days. How does the pasuk conclude? And you shall rejoice before the Hashem 7 days. Okay, you can say it goes on the holiday, but this is not part of the pasuk. The pasuk is basically focusing on picking the fourth species. So, of course, in Beit HaMikdash, the mitzvah was 7 days. In Beit HaMikdash, Min Torah, everyone that was in Beit HaMikdash was obligated Min Torah. This is Usmachtem Lifnei Hashem. Lifnei Hashem is in Beit HaMikdash. Fine, according to the Rambam, it's not only the area of Beit HaMikdash, it's around Beit HaMikdash.
It was the right time.
Yeah, right. According to the Rambam, it's for 7 days. It's the right for me and you also on Thursday morning. But on Friday morning, it's not Min Torah. In Beit HaMikdash was 7 days. Okay.
Who's Machtem applying to right here? Is it to the Beit HaMikdash?
To those who are in
Or-
Beit
or-
HaMikdash.
So this does not apply to us right now.
Today not. Except
Not only today, I mean, the person who lived in Yerushalayim, the person who
Right,
lived
that's the
in,
question. I live in Yerushalayim
Haifa.
at the Kotel.
This Machtem applying to them
mentioned
here.
two cities. Haifa definitely not in Tel Aviv or Bnei Brak. But in the old Yerushalayim,
In the old city.
according to the Rambam, the old Yerushalayim is
Okay.
like Beit HaMikdash.
Okay, so there,
This is only the Rambam. Many disagree on that.
So there might be a bigger for you if you live in the old city.
If you take this opinion for sure, yeah. So now let's leave the Chumash open the Shulchan Aruch you have in front of you. Now it's 651. Taf Reish Nun Aleph.
Where you, is Eli there, Rabbi Prague?
Other places. in-
you're losing it?
No, he's not. He's not. No, it's good. It's good. What? Taf Reish Nun Aleph. 651.
So is there another place that says it's Machtem that applies to us, you know, on, or it's just a general?
Make sure it's
Yom Tov,
no,
so
that's
it's
no.
small, to be happy.
Go back to it. Let's see, I
So
get it.
again, so that only applies to us, so
But yeah, but this is in the holiday, so regardless of where you are.
right,
Here,
okay.
the Pasuk openly says,
So those 7
Machtem
days only
B'nei
apply to
Hashem.
Mikdash, I got it.
Share with Jack.
in Nathan,
Yes.
please share it with me. Let's read the Shulchan Aruch slow now. Shulchan Aruch slow, Taf Reish Nun Aleph. מצוות 4 מינים שייטול כל אחד, לולב אחד, כל אחד, every male. You cannot, the rabbi cannot have everyone in mind. This is the mitzvah שבגופו, everyone has to take. לולב אחד, 2 ערבות, 3 הדסים.
So why does he go, the Torah says our vote last and Hadassim before our vote. How come our vote comes before Hadassim here?
Why is he listing it this way?
The other way listed.
It might be a klutz kasha, but I mean, I'm sorry, it just doesn't.
It's not.
It's 1, 2, 3. Love echad, shtayim, shalosh.
Oh, you hear what he
It's
says?
interesting,
Nathan
Nathan.
says it's 1, 2,
He's
3.
a poet.
1,
Great one.
1, 2, and 3.
Then the Torah would have written 1, 2, 3.
No, you're asking
You could argue that the other way too.
the obvious question. No, but
Interesting.
you have to, his question is, if the Shulchan, you realize he didn't mention the Etrog at all.
Yeah.
And you realize that the title, Larry, the title of the Siman is Netilat Lulav U'Birchato. And the two other species, which is the Siman Aravot, are connected, but it's not an answer to your question anyway. Okay, but for now we have Nathan.
Okay.
Look a second.
Rabbi, if you don't have an etrog, do you do the others? You don't have an etrog.
If you don't have an etrog, you're doing it only as a memory without the bracha, yes. Which means it's meaningless, but you have to do it anyway. It's mufurash in the Shulchan Aruch. If you have a from last year,
It's sad to say, Rabbi, but when my mother, when they immigrated from Syria to Jamaica,
yeah,
and my cousin told me,
yes,
he said there was no etrog in Jamaica, the island in the Caribbean island, in the 1950s. He said, the Giava, they used a lemon. No. It's sad to say, but that's what I guess there's a lemon.
the lemon is good. The question is only if they made the bracha or not. Yeah.
Right.
But the answer is
No, but I gotta do what you want.
no. Yeah, they could have taken an apple, but the
Lemon looks close
looks.
enough.
No, but this is what he said. It looks bad. From the same family, no. From the citrus.
My late brother used to go to buy the etrogim on the day before Sukkot, and he'd go to the dealer and say, "Today's etrogim and tomorrow's lemons. Give you a deal."
Right.
Hurdle.
Look a second in the Mishnah Berurah. The Mishnah Berurah is raising a practical question that we don't know because for the time being, we feel comfortable. What happens if you have a choice to go to a place where they have a lulav? In most communities in Europe, they had one lulav for the shoot. Yeah?
I grew up in Louisiana.
Right.
When I was a kid,
Shut it.
when I was a kid, there were not many
Shul.
Louvadim. They had one by the teva on the dome. You came in the morning, you say the beracha, and you go. I went to
Right.
school. You know, it was only one. Nobody had their own.
I remember they gave us an
Maybe
apple
the
and
seeds
a
are all
chicken.
happening.
Look at the Mishnah Berurah. ביום טוב ראשון, יותר טוב לילך למקום שיש בו לולב, מלילך למקום שמתפללים. דלולב ביום ראשון הוא דאורייתא. ותפילה דרבנן. So if your choice is this shul that doesn't have a lulav, but has a minyan in Kriyat HaTorah, or the other shul that has a lulav, go to the lulav because it's deoraita. Okay, look a second, the next Mishnah Berurah, Bet, Kol Echad, ולא שאחד ייטול בשביל כולם, לכתיב, ולקחתם, what is the plural, ולקחתם, לשון רבים ולא לקחת, this is the Gemara, of course, everyone is supposed to take it. להורות שהחיוב הוא על הרבים. ולא מבעינת only ביום טוב ראשון ואפילו בשאר ימים, everyone has to take one. Fine. Good. Let's continue a minute. Look at סעיף קטן ג' ושתי ערבות, ואם נטל בד אחד של ערבה, if you realize that you have, after you shook the lulav already, you have only one branch of ערבה, צריך לחזור וליטול ולברך. Listen carefully. How come he says it here? And he didn't say it by Hadassim. So look at, go back to the top. Now go to the top.
There's a Haga there. Why is Hadassim in Macham?
This is
That's
exactly
the question.
This is exactly what we're going to discuss. Says the Rama on top, the second line. ובמקום הדחק, you are in nowhere, ילך ההדס כשר, סגר לי בחד. If you cannot find three, one is enough. How come by Arava it tells me that without? Because Arava, the text says plural. By Hadas, it doesn't say it before.
What does it say then?
We only made we read the psukim before.
No, I'm saying, I want to just understand what it says.
It says enough Etz Avot.
Anaf, yeah.
Anaf is one.
Singular.
So then where do we get three from?
Okay, so the Gemara learns Anaf. Etz Avot is 3. So of course the
Oh,
Gatchila is 3, but here it's very clear. Arvei is in the text. Plural. This is why it's Me'akev even b'diavad.
3.
Now, okay, now let's continue a minute, and this applies to each one of us, whatever. Let's go back to the Shulchan Aruch, third line. U'mitzvah le'ogdam. It's a mitzvah to tie the 3 together. Bekesher gamur. What's a kesher gamur?
Permanent, like a
Permanent.
solid, like
The way you
solid.
tie your shoes and I tie my shoes, or most people, it's not permanent. This is why it's mutar on Shabbat. Otherwise, we are sur on Shabbat. בקשר גמור, היינו שני קשרים, double knot, זה על זה, משום נוי.
Which can't be done on Yom Tov.
It's for beauty, like he says later, it cannot be done on Yom Tov, ויכול לעובדם במין אחר. היינו people, I mean, I heard about people that I knew, that used to take a gold ring and tie it together with a gold ring. It's telling you, tying it doesn't have to be only from the palm.
But how do you, where does he learn? How do we learn that there's a mitzvah of aguda? It says, "Ulakachtem lachem." How do you learn? He's making a big thing about this mitzvah lagdam. But where? How does he learn it? How do you?
The Gemara, it's a machloket tanaim. One says that you must. One says it's good. So look at the Mishnah Berurah Zayin. Look, af de kaima landein mechuyav leagdam. Al kol panim, and here is the answer to your question. The Mishnah Berurah. Mitzvah yesh baze mishum ze keli v'anvei. Think for a minute. You walk into shul and you're holding in your hand the lulav and the sim on the right and the avot on the left in your bare hand. Or they are tied together. Which one is it nicer? Simply it says ze keli v'anvei. Every mitzvah has a way to beautify.
Bundle in
beautify.
3 pieces.
It's much nicer if it's tied together. The only reason you have to tie it,
Individual stems of flowers.
the only reason you have to tie it is because you're beautifying the. Okay.
But certainly if somebody didn't ties it on Yom Tov and he does a temporary knot, then certainly he's yotzeh. It's not a
It's
issue.
your typical, but it doesn't count as it's tied together.
But it's tied.
And if you weren't,
If tying means a double knot, if you're using one knot.
and is an aguda cave?
No.
No.
This is
I
why.
think that's what he was getting
This
at.
is why the Shulchan Aruch is saying it's nicer if
That's
you
what you
do it.
Okay.
Oh, definitely it's not Ma'akev. Now, look at something interesting, okay? Okay, now turn the page by us, okay?
So then a temporary knot is better than not tying.
ואם
Oh,
לא
okay,
הגד-
right,
ואם לא הגדול, ואם לא הגדול מבעוד יום, you did not tie it tomorrow afternoon. או שהותר אגודו, the double knot opened up. אי אפשר לעוגדו ביום טוב, as Eli said before, you cannot tie it on יום טוב, בקשר גמור, אלא עוגדו בעניבה.
What's that about?
עניבה means
It's temporary.
temporary,
Okay.
the way you do your shoes.
Okay.
Now,
Is a rubber band allowed?
one of the reasons he said before, you can do whatever
Yeah,
you
you
want. So
want,
you can
right.
take,
He
you
just
can
told you
take-
gold.
you
Guy
can
used
take- you
gold.
can take-
You
you
said
can take
that,
any type of string.
So rubber band is considered.
But why don't they,
temporary.
but Rabbi, why don't they
Why don't they work?
use a non-natural material? In other words, why don't they use gold, rubber band? Never saw anybody do it. You told me you heard about a guy using gold. We never saw it.
When people pay $35 for the shirt, they wouldn't take
What?
gold.
I think I saw somebody had it with rubber band.
No, Joe, I think.
Of
you
course,
use rubber
why
bands.
not?
Yeah, I'm sure.
But if the idea is to beautify it, I think it looks much nicer.
Like it.
The material that you
Yeah,
tie.
it should be that said, because it looks nice.
Oh, only for beauty.
Well, that's the point here.
Now, the reason why we put under lulav, we put also little rings, it's for the same reason. We are tying the lulav. You realize? we are tying the lulav.
I mean, the
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 ring,
stem itself.
No, the rings that we put on to
the
tie it
ring that
together.
you put is also for the same reason. Look further now, look further. Look now and see if bed. Here, we have in this room at least one lefty. Because you have to take the lulav on the left or the lulav on the right.
Now,
By,
what do you do, man?
by,
It's a problem.
don't
I'm gonna
say,
let the rabbi
don't
talk, and
say,
then I'm gonna do
don't say.
exactly what he says I
The
do.
rabbi is going to read what the Bet Yosef wrote 450 years ago, and it's written in the two, 600 years ago. That's in the Shulchan Aruch. Yitol ha'aguda beyado ha'yamani. Take it in your hand, Roshayim pointing up there. V'yikareyim lemata. The four species must be taken the way they are growing. If accidentally you did Arava upside down, no good. No good.
Or
No,
even how does the lulav grow?
it's exactly the way you take it.
Oh, yeah,
Hey,
from the ground?
because no,
No,
because in the palm
the
tree
tree.
every year before
On
you
the
have a
tree.
new, this is exactly how it goes. And
It's
it
like,
opens up. Now here is the lefty Seif Gimel. Iter lefty, notel biyamin kol adam. He takes like regular people. ואתרוג ושמאל כל אדם. The batar, ימין ושמאל, we follow the right and left, so ordinary people. Here is one of the big differences between Ashkenazim and Sfaradim. Says the Rama for Ashkenazim, not so. Says the Rama, ויש אומרים, דאזרינן batar ימין דידי. So for Ashkenazim, if someone is a real lefty, he would take the lulav on the left and the etrog on the right.
Analogous to Tiffany, which is the strong arm. so
And
to
this is
speak.
the question. The question is, the Sfaradim are saying,
Right is right, left is left.
by tefillin, the Torah says, place the tefillin on the
And I
right.
do, and then I do both together.
But here, it's only by tefillin. The same question would be if you tie your shoes. The Shulchan Aruch says, put your right shoe first,
And
then you put your left,
And
then
tie
tie
on
the left first. What should the lefty do?
Oh.
The same idea exactly. For Sfaradim, only by tefillin, a lefty is putting his tefillin on the right.
Really?
But the rest is the same. Ashkenazim, yes.
Why is the picking up so important? Because when we, if you have it separate, even if you have it, you pick it up the right way, it's still not considered carrying together until you put it together.
Yes. Look a second. David's question, look at the Mishnah Berurah in the previous page on the bottom. Tet Zayin, Rasheim Lemala. Again, the tip of the other seam has to be pointing up. So is the Aravot, so is the Lulav, so is the Etrog. The Beinan Sheitlem Derech Gedilatam. David, the Gemara, it's a Gemara, the Gemara learns it from the Pasuk. If you did it upside down, אפילו בדיעבד לא יצא, you have to shake it again with the bracha. Okay.
That allows us to do it upside down, so this way when we turn, we're ready to say the bracha. This way we can't be
Right.
taking it by mistake.
Eli said, in a minute we'll talk about it, yes. In a minute.
I thought the pitom grows down because you
So
have
the
the
Mishnah
bottom.
Berurah is talking about, look at Mishnah Berurah Yud Zayin. You have the next page, second line. ויקרב למטה, you see? ואף אגב דאתרוג, if you ever saw an etrog tree, if you look at the etrog tree, the etrog is hanging this way. The pitom is down. Listen good what he says.
Pitom is down?
Yeah.
On
because
the tree.
The bottom
Right,
tree.
if you could just,
Right, you're correct,
if we can only finish the next
Does a
slide.
lemon also go the same way?
Hold on. Hold the phone.
ואף אגב דאתרוג כשהוא תלוי באילן וקצו למעלה, עוקץ זה tail. בכל מקום נקרא דרך גדילתו וקצו למטה, שהפירות, it's only because of the weight of the tree.
Yeah,
The way the tree,
the weight of the fruit.
the weight of the fruit. Which means if the etrog would not weigh, and maybe we have a cow, of course it would this way. So the weight, because the tail of it, which is connected to the branch, is so this
Remember,
is
all fruits seem to grow top down, so to speak, oranges, apples, everything is this way.
All the food that have weight is the point.
Yeah, oh,
Right, but
but
the
it wants to
palm
go
is
up, but
on
it
the
can't
other
because
side.
it's heavy.
If you look at pictures of a pumpkin,
Cherry,
these are
palm
top
is
of the
not
cherry
cherry,
is this
it's
way.
cherry.
It wants to go up, but can't.
Palm,
because of
the
weight.
pumpkin is
And no
just
gravity.
Cherry,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no gravity. If you do it on the space station,
Yeah, no, there's no gravity. You see that rocket launch that launched to the
That was
I heard about it.
amazing. That was amazing.
Came back
down,
in.
fly it up, and it ends up right
Why don't you ask
exactly
about
in the
apples?
spot.
Yeah.
Ask about cherries, talk about cherries, apples.
See, Rani, we got
Oranges,
so used to the idea that you can call on the phone and talk to someone in Antarctica. This is already pashut.
yeah.
When you see something new,
Go to
can you
Florida.
imagine if
Go
you
to
grew
some
up,
farms.
someone would tell you there will be a time you'll be able to
Go to
talk to
swamps.
someone and see the man you talk. I remember someone that was
When we first had the
crazy.
FaceTime of it, no, I can't. Who had a face while you talking to me?
No,
Wait,
but we
whoever
went for the
played the
George
ball for
Jensen
free.
Scholes TV
It
program.
was
was
Right?
especially for ladies because they cannot talk all the time before the makeup is on.
Zoom,
Now, the next-
video, no video.
The next two halachot, unfortunately, this is Shemesh Merenu, very practical in Israel. Look at that. Adam she'en lo yad. What happens if a man lost his arm? Not. But you see, this is written 1,000 years ago. Notel lulav bizro. You can put the lulav here. What does it say? You have to hold it. We spoke before. What does it mean to hold? It is here.
But what about Lachtem?
This is a what is
That's how
But it was
it is.
placed
this is why.
But Lachtem is it an
Maybe-
action?
maybe
You said it. You said.
You have to do an action.
וכן האתרוג. I mean, you know, you learn it million times. Here, this here, Hashem Yishmerenu, how many? Look at the Mishnah Berurah. Look at the Mishnah Berurah. רוצה לומר, listen carefully to Mishnah Berurah. רוצה לומר שאין לו ידיים כלל. If he's missing his right hand, you can take it with the left hand. Even though he told us before to take it in the right, obviously if you have the right, yes?
Yeah.
נוטל הלולב בזרועו של ימין, וכן האתרוג בזרוע השמאל. Listen good now. The miktiv הוא לקחתם ביד. The Torah never said the word take with your hands.
And just to take.
לקחתם means hold it by taking. I took it by.
So you're saying holding is good enough to take as taking?
We'll talk about it in a minute. Yeah. Okay, then he explains, Chavbet Bizro, Ainu, Beit HaShechi, under your arm, yes?
Yeah.
Now, listen good. אבל אין לו זרוע כלל, אין לו ליטול בפה. It sounds funny, but can I hold the lulav in my mouth?
Yeah.
Okay,
You want to
small-
hold it all in your mouth, because you can't hold it straight up.
No, okay, let's assume
Okay.
for a minute. But it says, no, this is not considered לקח. This is not holding. This is holding, not the usual way. Holding is with your hands.
Yeah.
This part is also in your hand.
Can I make a shaliach, Rabbi? I want to make Ronnie my shaliach.
If you can make a shaliach to eat breakfast for you and supper, then you can make a shaliach to
I don't like oatmeal.
I have to assume that if somebody has, you like you said, these times on an artificial hand, it should be good. It might be good enough.
What?
That's
An
the cast.
artificial
That's
hand.
the cast item all over again, Eli. The cast.
Very good question. Yeah, Eli wants to know if you have an artificial hand.
In fact,
Then
an
it's
artificial
also-
hand, you take next to an artificial, can you do Kohanim with an artificial hand? Is that?
No, Kohanim for sure not.
Not, okay.
Here your question is
Right.
only, because the only
It's an
way
extension.
the artificial hand operates is
Through erection,
Because it's
erection.
it's connected to your hand.
Okay.
But
Yeah, but could he have a glove? Regular person would,
We'll
full
talk,
how many
we'll
has a
talk about
glove?
it, Jimmy. The answer is no.
So that's how she's on with the mechanical arm being has to have a glove?
That's right.
Now he says, he told us before that take the lulav under your arm and the right. Whatever, you cannot, you have only one hand. So he says, take the lulav first, put it down, then take the etrog.
Even though not altogether.
Now this halacha applies to many people. Let's say you have someone in the hospital who is not strong enough to take all the four together.
You can
Go-
take some of them.
Go to the end of the siman. Go to the end. Siman Taf Reish Nun Aleph. And it says like this. Seif Yud Bet. Seif Yud Bet. Taf Reish Nun Aleph. Seif Yud Bet. See? ארבעה מינים הללו מעכבים זה את זה, you must have all four. שאם חסר לו אחד מהם, here is Mel's question with the lemon. אם חסר לו אחד מהם, לא יברך על השאר, אבל נוטלם לזכר בעלמא. This is exactly what he said. Take it לזכר, but of course don't make a bracha, yes?
But they like you to take it. Interesting.
Then he continues, ואם היו ארבעתם לפניו, if the four species are in front of you on the table, ונטלם, and you pick them one by one, first you pick the lulav. You put it back, it says בפירוש יצא, בשולחן ערוך התפסק עד הרמב"ם, yes? This is why he said before, if someone cannot hold the two together, the lulav and the etrog, takes one and then puts the other
One at a time, is there a specific order, or does it matter which ones he picks
We'll
up first,
talk
second, and
later,
third?
why is the bracha netilat lulav, not the netilat etrog? Why is lulav? Because it's taller? We'll talk later. Let's go back to the Shulchan Aruch now. Seif Hey. Go to the Shulchan Aruch, Seif Hey. Yevarech al netilat lulav. Please listen carefully now. יברך על נטילת לולב שהחיינו, קודם שייטול האתרוג. Shulchan Aruch is suggesting to us, most of us do it, or as Eli said, upside down. By tefillin, you make the bracha before you put it on. And the four species, you have to make it before you fulfill the mitzvah. So he says you can hold the lulav on the right, make the bracha, then pick up the etrog, then put it together. Because before you pick the etrog, you didn't
It's
do
not
the
complete,
mitzvah.
it's not, yeah.
So יברך על הלולב, על נטילת לולב ושהחיינו, קודם שיטול האתרוג, כדי שיברך עובר לעשייתה. או, what Eli mentioned before, או יהפוך האתרוג. If you're picking it up together, and then you make the bracha, but the etrog is upside down, it's as if
You didn't
It
take
didn't
all
have- it
four.
wasn't there.
you didn't take the four. Now let's go back to the question before. When I pick it up and the etrog is upside down, so it's like I'm picking 4 bananas. Now what? Then I'm turning it on and I'm making a bracha. But I didn't make maaser lekicha now. The lekicha that I took before didn't count.
But don't you have to have it?
This is one of the rayot that the Bikuray Yaakov brings. That as long as it's in your hands, it's considered lekicha. Because otherwise, most people do like I said.
Wait, don't you say the bracha and then turn it around?
Yeah.
I thought you said the
Yeah,
opposite.
yeah,
I thought you said the
However,
opposite.
would the same apply?
So you say the other three. When you pick the other three, it's not.
Nothing, yeah, that's good.
The etrog is upside down.
You
So
say
you
the
only
bracha, and then you turn.
Then you tell. But you didn't do maaser lekicha.
Right.
It was already picked
It's
up.
already taken.
The raya yafa mod. This is the raya that Bikuray Yaakov brings. Joseph, what did you say?
So like if it's nothing, if you hold it upside down, then it's like putting on the table, making the beracha and taking it up.
I thought it's just
same
giving.
thing.
He's giving you
But you
two.
cannot make it from the table, right?
Yeah, you can.
Shulchan Aruch said before, you can make it while it's in the table, ready to be picked up. He suggested hold the lulav on the right, leave the etrog on the table, make the two brachot, and then pick up the etrog. This is how he started to tell us. Yes.
But isn't the whole idea to have an agudah? So how do you accomplish agudah with the bracha if the etrog isn't included?
The bracha, the agudah is for the na'anuim, not for the bracha. The bracha is al netilat lulav. Okay? We learned before that the agudah is for hidur. I made the bracha, and now I'm holding the 4, and I'm going to shake it. When I'm shaking it, I have 4 pieces that are meudah, that are tied together.
Isn't this more?
I don't understand why the etrog has to be upside down.
It doesn't have to. Again, we are looking now how to fulfill over la'asiyatan, which means before I do the mitzvah, I'm making the bracha. In practicality, how would you do it? So one is leave it on the table, make the bracha, pick all of them together.
Right.
It's good, but we are not, because very often many people are around and it takes too long to pick both of them. So the best is you're holding already the lulav, which is the difficult piece to pick, bishleimut, in your right hand. Either you leave the etrog on the table, you make the bracha, and you pick up the etrog straight, or you're holding it upside down, which means it doesn't count. You make the bracha, and then you change the position of the etrog. The pitom should look up. Now you have the 4 pieces in your hand.
So can I ask you a personal question? What do you do?
I was raised to do the way I said. The etrog is upside down. But later I'll show you the Graf Vilna says the best of the best is have a kavanah not to be yotze until you are finished with the bracha. But this is, of course, only if you are in this business of understanding what it means. You understand? The grass is very simple. Right? Say, I'm having a kavanah not to be yotze finished. You picked it up, it's nothing. Make the bracha now, I'm having a kavanah, right now it becomes good.
The base of this is brachot kavanah, right? Or about mitzvot.
The mitzvot kavanah is one thing, but here we're talking about over la'asiyatam, right?
Okay, but the first day, if you go with mitzvot kavanah, right? You know, Doraita, there, the guy to stop until he takes it, he doesn't have the kavanah. The other days are D'Rabbanan, a mitzvah kavanah. So now when he just grabs it, stam, he's done the mitzvah, and now it's too late.
Okay,
can I look at it?
we might come back to it, but we saw more than once in Siman Samach. Let's say you fill in this morning, you didn't have a special kavanah. Says the Chayei Adam, why would a normal man put black boxes on his body?
Right.
Subconsciously, there is always a kavanah when there is a maaseh mitzvah. Especially by the lulav, you pay for the set $200. Why are you taking it now?
So the problem is this day 2, I picked it up to walk, and I'm holding it together while I'm walking to shul. Is it possible I fulfill the mitzvah?
Everyone understands that Eli Tawil knows.
That was transit, that
Walking
wasn't,
is only
it's just in transit.
you are deliberate.
So then you don't have to worry about that.
Follow our minds, yes? You wake up in the morning, you pick them up to take it in the shul,
right?
Because you know that in the shul before Hallel, you're making a...
So you're saying you don't have this to cover,
I
you
do
don't
have
wear
Chelek Aleph, we want it Sunday, we'll have to look eventually there, but this is...
Methods, one about
what
turning
you
it
said
upside
before,
down.
that you don't need, it's a big machloket.
Yeah, I shouldn't
It's
say
what
that,
the
just
Rabbanan,
stop,
it's a
I know,
machlok, it's a
okay,
machlok,
all right,
yes.
it's not so.
Rabbi,
One of the upside down person and one of these on the table. Either case, the 3 hasn't done anything until he either turns it upside down or picks it up. Either way.
Correct.
So it's the same. The 3 is nothing
No,
until
but
he does
for
the final act.
practicality, this is the best way. Because the lulav is always the clumsy part.
I like to leave it in.
Especially this year, I learned it afternoon, 59, 17 years. No one is guarding it. 2 boxes of lulavim. One is double A, $100 for lulav. The other one B, 75. Other C. Best one is $25. Second is 15, the third is 10. But this is
Grade A, B, C.
if you pay for the lulav $100, the lulav is a lulav. It's not.
Wait,
Yeah,
Rabbi, is the length a factor? I mean, once it makes a certain size, does it any longer? Is it more
The
hashul?
lulav, the only length. No, it's easy to. It has to be straight, completely closed on the top.
Yeah.
The lulav must be 1 tefach longer than the other seed.
Yeah.
So when you very often in shul, it's 4 inches. Very often, 3 or 4. But every time in shul, look carefully. Many people are unaware of it. the lulav and the adasim are almost.
Almost equal.
Yeah, they
almost
get the
equal.
short ones, look like a mini one.
You're a nice little
Rabbi,
steak.
from the top of the lulav?
From the top of the lulav, correct.
Morning,
But I'm
Ike.
s-
Morning, Nathan.
Now look a second.
I hate to ask this question. I'm still not understanding why you can't have why is this whole issue with the etrog? Why are we making this whole issue with an etrog? I'm not understanding
If
the
you
concept.
if you want,
If you want to have a five
if you want, you can do it this way. Pick the etrog normally and take the lulav upside down. I mean, we're looking for
Why? I'm not
We're looking for
understanding the
practical-
why.
we're looking for practical advice to fulfill the
But I don't
mitzvah of
understand.
Rabbi,
It's so easy to understand.
Rabbi, I heard
I understand. Why don't I put the hadasim on my head? Why don't I put the hadasim? You're not telling me a
Rabbi.
Of
reason.
course you can do it.
Rabbi, I heard a good,
Both are already tied together from Erev Yom Tov. Yes? And I have to make a bracha before. Here, choice A is leave all of them on the table. If you pray alone in the house, this is the best. The table is yours, you are in full
No
control,
distractions.
you prepare it. But if you come to the shul, I pray, I mean, people are all over there.
Chaos. Chaos.
And the minute you pick it, you might poke
Rabbi,
someone might be there, a talet might be on it. Right? The answer is for practical reason only. Yes, yes, I can.
Rabbi, I heard a nice chidush from Rabbi Mansour about the etrog. It represents shlemut. So the aleph is emunah shelema. The taf is teshuvah shelema. The resh is refuah shelema, and the gimel is geulah shelema. So
Good.
the etrog combined with the lulav gives us shlemut. You know, we're making the mitzvah.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Did they ever write etrog with a chaser?
Right, right. I didn't want to ask it, but for the
That's why I'm asking you.
he's asking a trog you write with a vav. This Var Torah was tailored for the gematria.
No, kapot, kapat.
Yes, yes.
Isn't there
Larry caught it.
the concept that if you have an apple on the table, you cannot make the beracha and pick up and eat it? Don't you have to have it on your hand?
Right, right, right.
So how can you have it on the table and then make the beracha?
Since by an apple I have the choice to hold it and make a bracha, and
Yeah,
then
what's it,
bite
4
into it,
pieces?
it's much better. Here it's a clumsy 4 pieces. It's only for practical. Yeah. Of course he's right. He's asking, and we said before that it's better if you're holding the lulav and the etrog upside down for the exact reason you
Because
just
you actually
mentioned.
had them together.
Because you have it already on you.
You have it on
He's asking if you have an apple and you're going to make Borah Priyaet, you're not leaving it on the table, you say the bracha, you pick it up, And the answer is of course, because by etrog it's not a big deal. Here, I'm telling you, if you come to places, I have the lulavim.
Yeah.
And I have, people say $600 for a set, it makes a noise. Of course.
You know, putting it in the hand and upside down, for me, I would find that impractical. I have to juggle it and not turn it upside down.
Correct, he's right
I
also.
rather it on the table, I could pick it up properly.
See what he
If I have
says?
to start flipping it, I'm nervous.
You
Yeah, I might
understand
drop
what
it.
he's saying? He's saying like
I got
this. If
the
you're
lulav in
holding,
my hand, I got the etrog
telling
upside
you
down.
again,
I'm
the
not flipping it.
lulavim that most people have by us in many shows, except the Hasidim, are
Yeah.
short lulavim. But if you have a lulav, $100 lulav, it's a
Darth
lulav.
Vader.
It's a very
Yeah,
heavy lulav, and the seam are.
Yeah.
So if now I'm holding now the etrog here. Says Rani,
You're
how would
flipping it.
how would you?
You have to use the envelope as a.
It's much better. It's much
support.
better
I
if
like
you
that.
leave it in the box. You leave it in the box.
When
Then
I
the
start
minute-
off, I put
Like
my
that. This
etrog
is
up.
see, this
It's in the
is
position, so I can
this
just
is
grab it. I don't start now getting it out of the phone.
Yeah,
I
very
get it
often-
standing up.
very often I do that with depends on the size of my etrog.
Yeah.
If my etrog is small, it's not.
Hey,
it's
why
not a
don't we
big
hold
problem.
it properly?
Yeah, but it's like a bizayon to the etrog. There's something about taking an etrog and making it.
But good, okay.
I put it
We'll
in the
continue-
foam, I
we'll
have it
continue-
standing up,
We'll
then I
continue to
take
go. We
it.
just have to make one decision.
If I have to turn it upside down, I'm gonna
Chol
drop it.
HaMoed, you remember, Jack, approximately, when is Shachrit over on Chol HaMoed? What,
It's
7:30?
about a good hour.
What?
About an hour.
So 7:25, 7:30 more or less.
So in Chol HaMoed, we'll learn every day on Zoom and the
Let's make it
646.
7:30, you wanna make it
7:30 every day and the
Yeah, we'll take it on
646.
weekend.
Remember, not this number, yes?
6-4, the other one,
Fine,
464.
464, yeah.
Oh,
And
so
Chol
you're not
HaMoed.
here.
No, not your Chol HaMoed, but then.
You know, Rabbi Prague, it's so fascinating how your mind works. If I ask you the Dinam of Sukkot, where it is in the tour, you would say 6:53. I could wake you up in the middle of the night. But if I ask you the internet, 464-642-9, it's so unbelievable how the brain works. It's fascinating.
No, we're 100%. I tell my class, when my father, Alav Shalom, wrote to me, Baruch Hashem, קיבלנו telephone. They live in Shar Chesed, and somehow there was, anyway, he wrote to me the number. This is about 40 years ago. I never forgot that I saw it once. 635-462. So I tell my class, why? It's my parents' phone number.
I still remember my.
The Maharal says that the reason why a Rabbi Shogeg needs a kapara, because if it's important, you never forget.
Yeah.
No one ever puts his hand in the fire by mistake.
The people also.
Everything that we
my mother used to
forget,
count in
show it
Spanish.
in the back
Even
of
though she
our
spoke
mind.
English differently. She count,
Right.
people count the
Yeah,
way they
you
grew
know
up.
what he says? His mother counted in Spanish, even though she spoke fluent English. Have a wonderful day. See you
I'll see
tonight.
you tonight, Gashikayach, Rabbi Prague.
It's gonna be 9 o'clock, Sunday.
Sunday is
Sunday's regular.
regular.